Slang shit
You
keeps
think
happening.
Toronto's about to get off the map? Like, what are you
I
talking
don't think it's
Now-
gonna last, bro.
Now, who's that?
What's not gonna
who's
last?
that
What are you
loser
trying to
from-
say?
Who's that most popular guy who was on YouTube? Luke something. Him and his brother had like a beef. My wife shows me all this shit.
Is this
by the way.
recording?
Yeah, it's a national show. Who's that guy from Toronto? I mean, who's that guy from LA? Him and his brother, like Luke something. Like they had a rap battle. They had to make music videos against each other.
I have no idea.
Anyway,
don't
that
follow
guy
Toronto
was
shit.
Luke something, man. Tell me
You're
the
talking
name.
about those blonde-haired
The
brothers? They're
blonde-haired
not
brothers.
from Toronto.
They're not from Toronto. They're from LA.
Yeah,
But
they're
one of them were on there
Luke.
speaking Toronto
Luke
slang.
Paul.
Luke Paul.
Oh, Luke Paul.
He's speaking Toronto slang.
Yeah, they're trying.
See, so
He's not
that's how-
speaking Toronto slang.
But
Dude.
that's-
They're just like adapting to like anything that they're seeing that gets them attention because they have such a massive.
But isn't that what World Star characters or YouTube characters do anyway? Are you dumb? So like you just said that Toronto's gonna fall off, but World Star all I
I
see
just
is the
think
same
this
shit.
whole like Toronto slang thing, it's cool, but it's
I
like,
think it's garbage.
it's very obvious when people like put it on and it looks very fake and it's not. There's nothing like it does nothing, and it breeds a lot of really untalented artists who just try to create something that already has been done at the highest capacity. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to create something new. That's why if you look at all the biggest Toronto artists, let's talk about music now, all the biggest Toronto artists, they're all very different from each other. Like the real biggest ones. Drake, Weeknd, Bieber, they're all like opposites of each other, and that's why they're so big. And then all the ones who try to do it and try to like be like that are kind of whack. And like they're all like the ones who like they just like, yo fam, it's like, and then their music isn't anything unique. There's few jazz Cartier or Carter, whatever his name is, like he's cool. You know, Tory Lanez, I don't fuck with him at all. You know, like I think he's not unique. He like samples all these songs. He has a very familiar voice. You know, he's managed to get himself to a different spot. But
I'm touring with Drake right now.
That's amazing. God bless. But but that's because Drake's like, kind of the king. You know what I mean? And he's like, yo, let me take this guy with me. Where it's not like Drake's not gonna take. Okay, here's my point. Drake's not gonna go on a like tour and be like, yo, let me do like have Kendrick Lamar open for me, or like a Kendrick Lamar type of artist. Because he's going to be like, I'm not going to put this guy on. This guy's about to fucking change the world with his music. I'm not going to put on a Kanye. I'm not going to put on a Jay-Z. I'm going to put on a Tory Lanez. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy that Toronto's on the map. But I just think a lot of this, like, I feel like there's...
You're saying the slang is going to...
Yeah, I feel like...
I think the slang is just to make fun of us, to be honest with you. Because I personally don't like it. I grew up, like... knowing that type of slang because I hung out with a lot of fucking people that spoke like that, but I still didn't respect it, and I agree with what you're saying.
But I'm not saying I hate it. I'm not saying I like it, but like I'm accustomed to it. For example, like it just makes you feel like that's Toronto.
But do you speak like that?
No, but we do. We use certain words.
No, it's very true. Like obviously my brothers are very white. You know what I mean? Like well, they're Arab. Canadians, but they're white. And like when I was hanging out with you guys, everything was like, yeah, bro. You know what I mean? Like you extend everything you say. Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Instead of like, hey, what do you mean? It's like, what do you mean? What? It's like all this very, like there's a style of talking. For example, in LA, I have a friend, and when I hit him with a text, I'm like, yo, what you saying? He'd be like, what do you mean what I'm saying?
Yeah, he doesn't understand.
I'm like, what you say? You know what I mean? He'll be like, you mean like what am I up to?
No way.
I swear, every time I hit him, that's what he says.
Have you ever been culture shocked in LA? Like where you're like, what? You don't know what a Sri Lankan guy is?
That's very normal in California. I think that's only because there is a heavy Hispanic community that's like super large. But so there is not like a shit ton of Indian people or a shit ton of Sri Lankan people. Yeah. Like you go to other places, like for example New Zealand, they can identify like for example right now they're like it's in a very troubled state, but like places like that, the Scandinavian countries, like ethnicities are and everyone understands like what people's backgrounds are,
Yeah.
When in Canada, I'd say that it's like, oh, you're Chinese, be Chinese. Oh, you're Sri Lankan, be Sri Lankan. Oh, you're fucking. So in California, I think it's less of like comes across ignorant or comes across like prejudice, comes across just not educated. It comes across like America, you come to be American. Oh, you want to set up a business, you set it up like in an American style, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, it evolves.
You become American when you're in America. Like,
but like,
you forget there's other cultures out there, and some people don't care to educate themselves.
Well, it's at one point, if you think about it, they have like a point. Like, you're coming there to live, conform. If you don't want to,
but don't you? But that's what the problem with the world is right now. No one understands. Like, people, whatever happened, my heart and prayers go out to the families of people that had to go through what they went through in New Zealand. A man who's uneducated walks into a mosque and shoots 49 people and kills 49 people. That's uneducation. That's being uncultured. That's not understanding. Forget about religion. Forget about culture. Look at humanity at its own form. Are we at that stage of the world that we cannot educate ourselves? You can't pick up a phone and say, Google, answer this question for me.
Well,
to look at this guy and say he's Palestinian, and I'm going to judge him because he's Palestinian, and let's say he's Christian, right? He's a Christian Palestinian, but I right away I'm American and I'm a redneck, and I look at him, he looks like an Arab. I'll probably say he's from Afghanistan, but I don't give a shit, right? And now I look at him and I judge them.
Well, you know,
that's ignorant, uneducated, like stupidity, and on another level, and it's hurtful that the world is still like that. If you just said something that was so smart, you said, you know, why, if you're gonna live here, conform, right?
Yeah.
Be this,
Yeah.
right? But why would you have to take away my culture, but giving me an opportunity to live here? Canada's the best example.
Canada's the best. You know, they say the melting pot.
Yeah.
Like, Canada, the pot's melted. It's like, it's one solid figure now. This is what it is. Like, everyone accepts everyone. We're educated here on that fact.
We're very cultured.
We're very cultured. We're at a point where everyone you look at is like somewhat of a different.
No, I think to go back to your point, you said something about, like, you know, you could be educated, you could just go on Google. Okay, like, but let's look at it like this: like, if you are in America and you're growing up and you go through the school system and this, that, and the other, okay. In the school system, they're not teaching you about, like, Canadian history. They're teaching you about international history. They're not really teaching you about the things that they have a curriculum, okay? Yeah. They have very specific things that they're teaching you about. And a lot of it's not necessarily controversial or things that would bring up emotions. It's more like things that, you know, are like standard learning lessons, this, that, and the other. And then it gets more complicated with, like, math and calculus and things that are just difficult, you know? But the basic teachings that, like, the value, the core things you get out of school are not the things that, like, we face every day in real life. So go back to your point. You can choose what to Google, and that's the problem. But that's freedom. So some guy who you said, again, a redneck, like, obviously, like, someone who's white, forgettable, or someone who,
well, we can't label as white.
So it doesn't matter. Someone who grows up in a certain place, and, you know, they're not around a lot of cultures, and they're going online, and they like to Google how to make a bomb. Yeah. They like to Google, you know, what they want to Google. They're not going and Googling saying, what can I learn from the entire world?
Yeah.
They're picking. So there's the issue.
Wow, you just put out another topic, but yeah, I'll let you finish your point.
There's the issue with that. So, like, it always goes back to schooling. Like, obviously, if we were able to introduce, like, proper, like getting a kid wrapped their head around, like, okay, when you're online and you're on Twitter, don't just spend all your time looking at, like, a celebrity. Go into the news part. Go learn some things. If you're gonna Google things you wouldn't normally Google. Yeah. Look at websites you wouldn't normally do. You know, don't use the internet for such a limited amount of things.
Yeah. I'm gonna interrupt you for a second and just explain on a point that you made earlier. And I'm sorry, I was trying to catch on to that. People choose to go what they're going to search on Google. That was the scariest thing I ever heard. People choose. We have the freedom to choose what we Google. But we still have our children go to school, right? Mm-hmm. And school's advancing on another level. I was just talking to a couple of friends that have their kids in grade 6, and there's these grade 6. Now they actually are being taught how to use a tablet and 3D imaging and doing certain things that only we can't. Like, when we were kids, had no fucking money for that. No. So it should be part of the curriculum for the school board to teach these children, if you are going to eliminate human interaction and picking up a book, if you're going to eliminate these things and going home and reading a book and making notes, right? You should have a way of your mind being a platform of how to do excessive amount of research and become even 10 times more smart than what we could have ever been reading a book, because now they're choosing what they're Googling. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. These people that we're talking about, this human race that we're part of, the scariest part is we are already making ourselves so much dumber that what the government or whoever else is the one controlling the situation of AI, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality and stuff like that, like, you know, extra killers, I would call them, the extra killer. Like, it's like you're gonna be an extra on this planet. You're just an extra till this
now you're getting into conspiracy theories.
No, but it's true. Because you're giving a person. If my kid gets out of his moon and starts to learn his own way, I want to learn how to play Fortnite and I want to learn how to like squeeze this and put it through my nose and suck it back out the other, like stupid shit. Like they're not learning anything. They're just
but see, that's what I mean. Like
they're gonna let the technology run this whole fucking planet.
No, but let's be the reality.
It's over.
You have to think very specifically right now. Technology is
it's gonna take over now.
It's making this planet amazing. It's making life amazing. It's proving, in my opinion, it's proving the impossible. It's proving that when we grew up, our parents would say, stop playing video games all day, you're wasting your time. Now it's proven that playing video games all day can make you a fortune, or make you an income, or make you a living. It's been proven by, like, you know, I'm sure we should look this up, but I'm sure there are many studies, and I've only heard this just from studying myself, that kids who play video games have really good, like,
eye-hand coordination,
and not just eye-hand coordination, but like problem solving, and like getting themselves out of sticky situations. The only thing where they lack is maybe like
human interaction.
Well, no, I think more like intimate interaction. Because human interaction they do, which is because they talk online. Like, actually, I've noticed this more than anything, is that people our age and up, when we're online playing video games like Fortnite, we're rarely talking and we're rarely using the mic. Yeah. And if you think everyone else who's young is using it nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop.
So what they're missing is intimate interaction, maybe like getting laid or, you know, talking to girls. And, you know, kids are actually using online very effectively. Yes, they're watching like random things, but they're also making decisions very quickly. They're not overthinking things. They're like, okay, if they need to figure out something, they just Google it. You know what I mean? They just like immediately. They're finding things very quickly. Like, if you ask a young kid, what was that drama with Kylie Jenner or whatever it is, and you try to figure it out, this kid is gonna sum it up for you very quickly. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, this site, this thing. So kids have that amazing ability. I think what goes back to what I was originally saying, the main issues that we have is that when someone is online, who is a threat? Who is someone who can be indicated as a person of interest in a negative way? You know,
like
you have to be worried about what they are spending their time looking at. Yeah. Because they're influenced by what they pay attention to. If someone grows up in an area that's bad and rough, you can't be mad at them for being rough. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like they grew up in that their whole lives. That's why the ones who come out of it are super successful are really looked at, because it's rare. Yeah. The 90% of the case, it's not that. It is very difficult to come out of your circumstances.
Yeah, like when we're talking about this, I was telling Ashkan, I think we were sitting somewhere, we're eating, and basically, so you know how like that interaction is going to be lacking now, so they're going to be inside. So you know what's funny? Nowadays, everyone gets each other. For example, 20 years ago, if you said your cousin was coming from Palestine, or if your cousin was coming from France, and you would come hang out, he'd be like the odd guy. Mm-hmm. But now, because like the World Wide Web, it's like you're the same.
The gap is now closed.
Yeah. It's closed now. That guy who's gonna come from France and come in, he's gonna blend in like nothing. Yeah. Like he's no stranger. Right. And that's crazy to me. And people used to be interesting back in the day. Like someone's cousin would come from another foreign country and be like, that guy's so cool, man. Like he's so different than us, and you know, something cool about him. Or it can be the complete opposite, or whatever. Vice versa. Right? But now it's just like everyone's on that same page.
Well, it used to be that like my cousins back home would be like, we want to come to Canada so badly. And now when I talk to my cousins, they're like, why would we want to come to Canada? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because they're like, we already see everything you see. Everything is now developed. And we're in a very like information highway that never shuts down, that never has traffic, that is always fucking moving. And you can choose. And it all goes back to what I originally said. The bad bones, the nasty ones, the nasty ones, the shitty ones, what they choose to spend their time looking at, paying attention to, is where shit hits the fan.
Yeah, and then it becomes crazy. Can I bring something up that I was thinking about the other day? I was on my Instagram on the shitter, and I was scrolling, and then I saw a remake. Check this out on this channel, whatever I'm looking at, page that I'm looking at, it says the remake of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
No.
They're making a remake. No, it's not a fake
I
one.
would never watch it.
There's a trailer for it.
You would never watch it?
No.
It's called Bel-Air.
Yeah, man. Will Smith's
Yeah.
like...
If unless Will Smith's the dad.
Yeah,
No, the
yeah.
dad's different. Will Smith's different. Everyone's different, but the whole storyline's the same, and it's darker. Now they made it into a series that's darker.
Well, right, because it can be.
Well, it could be. Yeah, it's like
It can be now. I'm saying since
Well,
since shows like The Sopranos, you guys have to watch this show on Netflix called The 2000s. It talks about like how from the 2000s is what changed what we paid attention to on television.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Like if you think about what we used to watch before year 2001, 2002, we were watching sitcoms. We're watching like multi-camera TV shows.
Yeah.
You know, now we're watching like things with studio audience. When's the last time you watched a show with a studio audience, where you hear laughter and clapping?
No, man. Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong though. Big Bang Theory, given all of that, is still one of the
But
biggest
my
shows.
whole point is Bel-Air is the remake of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is a type, like it's a.
Are you sure
it's
it's
an
real?
icon? Yeah, it's real. I looked it up because I
Ever
was
since
tripping
Will
out.
Smith came on the internet.
They can't put Will Smith back in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but I
No,
guarantee they'll
I'm saying-
bring him in one portion of this show.
Or unless he's the dad.
No, he's not the dad. I saw the dad. We'll show it. I'll look it up. We'll post it, right? So my point is, like, look, Hollywood even has lost ideas of what to make. They've been doing so many remakes that it just they got lazy.
Yeah, but you know what? We probably watched remakes of
Everything,
older
bro.
type of sitcoms or shows that we don't know about.
Right. I think you're
We
wrong,
have.
bro. I think you're not paying attention. I think there's more movies and new ideas than ever
No,
before.
man. Explain.
There are more
You know
jobs.
what it is? Because you have that CGI.
Brother, it's very simple.
Explain. I've done
Wait,
this research,
hold
by the
up,
way.
hold
I've
up. I'll
explained.
tell you why. Okay.
They run out of major ideas.
doing
They
Lion
still
King.
have
I'll tell you
other
what.
shows.
No, wait, hold
Lion
up.
King.
Listen, I'll tell you why.
They're doing
This,
Lion King again.
Yeah. Like
They've done Spider-Man 100 different ways. They're doing Batman a different way. But they just can't get away from what's already popular. They're afraid to put something out that's original and crazy and new.
but hold up. Remakes are just money, and they're also necessary because it can be done better. Lion King is it can be done better, so let's do it
was the
again.
same.
Jungle Book, they're like it could be done better. Let's do it again. Let's make it look high quality.
Because they made so much money off it.
Ninja Turtles is like it could be done better. We can actually make it to what we imagined Ninja Turtles would be.
Yeah.
Now, for us, nostalgically, we're like, it would have been better if they had costumes in the new Ninja Turtles.
No, but then don't you believe that you should have the right to be like, when we were kids watching Ninja Turtle, it's like our parents when they watched the show back when they were kids and they used to tell us about it.
Yeah.
We should have that honor and being like, you know what, that's how I want to remember that movie. Because those remakes are garbage. The only thing that's better is the graphics and the way it looks.
Evolving, so at a point,
But the
it has
movies
the
are
right to do
garbage.
that.
But it kills the movie for us.
Like our
You don't
parents
need to
didn't
do a
have that.
remake. You
No,
don't need to do a
certain
remake.
remakes, if you do them again, it's a bad idea.
Ninja Turtle. Let's name the remakes. Ninja Turtles. Right?
Ninja
Now
Turtles,
listen.
You can.
You
keep
did.
doing
They
it.
did a good job
Yeah,
in
you
regards to
keep doing
graphics,
it.
but storyline was horrible.
Well, forget about that. I think the storyline was standard. It's that it was the disconnect of the CGI. If they just had it real costumes, it would have been, in my opinion, like the other
CGI.
Dude, I'll tell you, man, it's wild, bro. You watch.
Costume.
No, CGI is computer generated.
System.
No, animation.
CGI is
Computer generated.
custom.
No.
Look it up, man. You have a phone that's beeping on air. Like you should have your phone
turn
up.
up. Yeah, but you have your phone up and let's not
And
talk
then,
over
like,
each other.
Yeah.
No, bro.
Listen.
Listen,
Remakes.
I wanted to go back to your point of you said, explain about how it's bigger than ever and there's more ideas than ever. It's simple.
You
bro.
said that. I didn't say
No,
that.
I'm saying I want to go back to me explaining that.
Go ahead.
It's very simple. It's called Hulu. It's called Netflix. It's called Amazon Prime.
Crave.
It's called original content from these massive channels called YouTube Red. You know what I mean? Like, brother, there are more TV shows and movies getting commissioned than ever before. And on top of it, there's more money than ever before being made in the box offices on the biggest films.
I agree with you.
So CGI.
But that's just how.
Sorry to cut you guys out.
Yeah.
CGI means computer generated imagery.
Imagery. Yeah.
That's
So,
it.
like effects.
Computer
Computer
Generated imagery.
Okay.
CGI.
So anyway, no, I get what you're saying and I agree, but I'm also saying that.
Sorry. Do you think they can remake the Goonies?
Oh, I would love to see.
You
You
can.
can.
No, see, but that's
can.
different. You know what I mean?
There's
I
some-
actually think they can remake it, and it would probably be It would probably be really good.
Okay, what's gonna be good? So this is what we have to break down.
But here's the thing about
Does the storyline
wait,
change?
slow down, 100%.
Does the storyline change, or just does the graphics and the background?
I agree with you.
The only way they
can't
could do it,
remake that
brother,
movie.
is it's a continuation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
20 years later, 40
But
years
my
later.
understanding is they are. I thought they were doing it.
No.
The Goonies?
No,
Just
I haven't
look
heard
that up
anything
to-
about that. I keep my ear really close by because I love this type of shit. But just to go on that, The Goonies is a movie that even my kid and your kid, one day you can put them in front of that camera, in front of that TV and watch it, they'll appreciate it the same way you appreciated it. You don't need to remake a movie like that. One of the other types of movies that have been made, and they're my favorite actually, is the Marvel movie, the X-Men. Every time they make an X-Men movie, it's amazing.
Those are not remade. Those are just derived from comics, right?
Here's one. Here's one of the.
So
here's the top 15 best remakes. Okay, so one because of CGI was Pete's Dragon. Have you heard of that movie?
Yes.
It's like
it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon, right?
But it became.
It's a Disney. Disney does that a lot now.
But let's talk about Disney. See, that's
they just took over a bunch of Netflix.
I love that you guys brought up Disney because we should do our research because Disney was suffering for a very long time. And you know what company saved them?
Netflix.
No, Pixar. See, because Disney wasn't doing those style of movies.
No, they were doing old.
They were still doing the original 2D.
Yes.
Okay? And Pixar came on board and said, and guess who was part of Pixar? Of course, Steve Jobs. Most people don't know that. I mean, most people should know that. But Steve Jobs really championed the guy at Pixar at Disney. So what happened was Disney then said, okay, Pixar, we will need you. Come on board and then fucking make us. Please help us get these $1 billion movies you're making because they made Toy Story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, please help us make these $1 billion movies, you know? And then finally, you know, it happened. They partnered up. And I think one of the first movies was like The Princess Frog or something like that. But from that point, Disney figured out like the system and got into the business and then like came back as a big, massive movie company. Because they weren't for a while. After Lion King and all those 2D movies that were huge, they were dying. And they just had the amusement parks and the Disney merchandising. And Pixar is really what came on board because they had the innovation to take them to the next level. That's what I love about the world we live in. It's like you can always be the biggest, and then some guy just thought a little different, and he's like, "Boom, let me help you get bigger." You know?
Do you know that Disney also bought out all the Marvel series from Netflix?
No way. Really?
That's why they canceled all those shows.
Really?
So Disney's now going to take over the
Marvel.
Marvel.
I think the only one that should remain is that definitely what's that the blind guy? Come on, the blind guy. Daredevil.
Yeah, I never watched Daredevil.
Best one, Daredevil, and they should keep.
Did it remake Daredevil?
They did, yeah.
Flash,
2 series.
Oh, I'm talking about the shows. Actually,
shows. Actually,
so their shows are all canceled now, and Disney took over.
Really, but Daredevil's canceled too.
Yeah, everything's canceled.
What about Punisher?
Gone. Punisher after 2 seasons. Second season's gone.
Oh, because Disney's starting their own streaming service.
No, Disney owns now Marvel.
No, but they're starting their own streaming service.
Yes, they are. That's why I said Netflix is helping them because Netflix is
helping them.
Netflix sold it to them.
Stupid! I can't believe we didn't.
I know.
Do you remember when Netflix was like $11 and then it jumped to $356? That went back down and went back up to $300.
There's always going to be a company like that, Chris. Get ready for it.
Yeah, but the Canadian Netflix is horrible, eh? How do you?
I never use it. Every time I'm here, I'm just
because everyone wishes that they're in the States using because they have a lot more options.
Niall actually did something to me the other day that blew my mind. He actually said, "I don't watch anything. I just watch YouTube." Me too. And I used to watch YouTube tons.
I don't watch
television but it's changed since.
Then I backed myself away from YouTube because it's like everything's the same, man. You know what I mean? But I just actually the last 2 days when I had a chance, I went on YouTube, and since that day that you came to my house, and listen to what's been crazy. My phone, which we weren't watching YouTube on my phone.
Oh right, yeah.
So I went to work and I put YouTube on for a couple a slow time. I put on YouTube. Right away, the YouTube that popped up was food challenges,
of course,
this, that, and I couldn't get away from it. I was like, what the fuck? So I started watching more food challenges, and I was like, oh my god. Then I'm trying to find other videos, and it keeps going to challenges. it's starting
Your
to.
suggestions are all of the food challenges.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. AI, artificial
Does
intelligence.
it
Stuff
hurt you?
like
It hurt you?
it knows what his interest was, and I watched more than 2 episodes.
The mic is open. The mic is.
And boom, and you know every time you go on your phone and it says allow or block.
Yeah.
And most people can't use the actual app that they
until you
allow it.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. You're giving the permission for them to open their
But you know
I
what?
gotta tell you, man, like,
Like,
I just don't care. Like,
You don't care that they're listening to everything
I
that you're saying?
don't. Like, listen.
But
you know what I
mostly
mean?
the purpose is to kind of to make your life easier.
That's the intention.
Like if you're a nobody and you have this conspiracy theory of they're tracing me or they want to know what I'm talking about. No, it's this marketing. It's easy for them to kind of generate. What can they cater to you? Oh, he's talking about this. Here you go. You don't have to do no search engine for it. They know what you're talking about. My wife, we went skiing. My wife's like, I want to learn how to ski. You did good. And then all of a sudden we got home after our road trip. The first thing she did, she went on YouTube, was skiing instructions. That's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. But is it a bad thing? Or is it a good thing?
Is it great that both of us look like we're about to pipe Niall?
No, Niall's going skiing right now.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, I understand that I look at everything that bothers us as like if I were running a business and each year I had to decide what I needed to do to make the business grow. And if I was like, I'm running a business that sells straws and all the straws are 12 inches, okay? And I could do them 10 inches, but I keep the business at 12. But if I did them at 10, I can increase my business. I can make more straws and I hire more employees. But the employees get mad because they're getting less pay. Because I have to hire more.
We'll get to your point.
My point is, brother, in life, you have to make decisions. You have to make decisions that don't always make everyone happy, but they increase the bottom line. So a company that is listening in on your device, they had to push to get to that point because they realized they hit a wall, and they're like, the only way to get past that wall is we need to know what they want. We need to know what they want before they fucking want it. How are we gonna do that? We listen.
Even your
You know
TV
what I mean?
does it. The
So
TV
they're running a business. They're like their bottom line is what we have to do is so 90% of the people benefited from it, and then 10% are like, don't fucking listen in on me. You know what I mean?
No, but even like it's crazy, man. Like, have you been getting solicited calls lately?
Oh my god, I get them.
Like,
every
oh,
day.
you went to China.
But that's generated. That's all computer generated.
No.
I mean,
That's through open waves through your phone.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Bro, trust me. Your phone. Your people are getting your number, bro. Did you know that I can call someone with your number? I call them with your number. Trust me, I know this. Okay. And I looked into it, and we've had conversations about this, and it's kind of crazy. So my issue is, I don't really like, but I'm so addicted to my phone that I don't mind. Like, whatever, I've given it. I don't care. I look at my phone is a part of me. Eventually, it's a part of me, my phone.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, everybody. I think that's like the...
But that's what it is, right?
Crazy.
It's crazy what we're turning into. We're going to turn in. And my point is that technology is going to take over a human form of
But if I look at my everyday of life, like, I'm on my phone a lot, but if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to get things done.
Yeah.
Now, when I go camping, I have no use for my phone.
What did people do?
I think that's
What did people do 10 years ago to get stuff done?
Huh?
What did people do? People got stuff done. It's
People
just
got
now
their
they're
job done,
dependent
man.
on your phone.
I could get done like 20 emails.
I know you can.
50. I can get done 100 conversations in an hour. You could have never.
But
done
you're
that.
gonna grow old looking like this.
No,
Like, your
I'm
head's
not,
gonna be
because
like this.
No, I think there's something seriously that's going to happen with people's spines right here. It's already happened to mine. It's going to happen when
Like
you put
this.
down.
Your head is down constantly like this.
Soon there's probably be like a microchip, like a contact lens you put in.
But guys, are you forgetting before phones, we were also spending countless hours in front of a television?
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was outside
Or-
playing
or
soccer
computer.
most times. Actually, I didn't watch a bunch of television growing up. I only started watching more television as it got more advanced.
I am who I am today. I wouldn't be working in this industry if I didn't grow up watching television. I wouldn't be inquisitive. I never grew up reading at all whatsoever. My mom encouraged it all the time and I never did it. And then when I became like 26, I started reading so much and then I connected it to how much I watched television. Yeah. And it was like, and then all my curiosity comes from there. Like, I find that like I'm quickly remembering so many things from growing up paying attention to culture. And you have to figure out how to be on your phone all day, but also not let it control you. Like if you need to put it down, you can. You know what I mean? It's like if you go, like when I go camping, I don't even consider my phone. I'm like 3 days, I don't even think about it. I'm never like running to find reception to like see. Yeah. But when I'm working all fucking day, I'm checking it every minute because I'm like, is there an email? Is there something I need to take care of? Yeah, then I am looking at a bunch of BS on Twitter or Instagram or listening to a podcast or whatever it is. But I do love the fact that we have this access in front of us, and that we are evolving. Because look, bro, people obsessed with Instagram quick content, right? But then yet people now spend 3 hours listening to Joe Rogan. Yeah, you know, they're now maybe listening to us for 1 hour. So there is an involvement of people want more. You know, this guy Jordan Peterson, everyone's talking about, like this guy is like having hordes of people coming to him. 5,000 people, 6,000 people to watch him speak for 2 hours about something, you know? That shows a lot that as much as we are drones and robots, we're also evolving into being very inquisitive. Very advanced, very inquisitive. You know?
How is that advanced if everyone's doing the same thing?
The podcast earlier, now asking like, what do you listen on while you're driving?
Yeah.
Why'd you ask me that?
Well, because I find that the driving time is the best time to listen, and I'm curious how long you listen.
That's right. So because when you asked me that question, I already like it resonated.
If you're listening at home, I assume you're interrupted. It's more than you can't get more than 20 minutes.
I have no time.
Yeah.
From work, blah blah blah, this that. The only time I listen to it, you're absolutely correct. I give up sleep to watch it.
Right.
So
you watch.
Or if I go for a long drive somewhere.
Yeah. I'm a watcher. I like to watch.
I like to watch.
I actually enjoy to see the facial expressions of someone when they're speaking and what their actions are and how they are. I like to look the eyes, like see the person's eyes. And
the eyes don't like you.
Right. Yeah. I try to enjoy, like I explicitly only listen to Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Like,
what's your favorite episode of that?
I don't know. I like them all. You know what I mean?
They're all plug Joe Rogan's podcast.
No, why not? I fucking love him. I think he's a genius. But I
love Joe Rogan, but let's not plug his.
No, what I was gonna say was that because I'm in LA and I'm always moving from place to place, I'm always in traffic. So I'm always I have at least 2 hours a day in a car.
That's brutal.
But I don't care because I enjoy listening, or I'm listening to new records, or I'm doing most of my learning in those 2 hours. You know what I mean? And then when I go to bed, I like to go to bed to a book because it makes you very tired.
What is your favorite book right now you're reading now?
I mean, in fact, I have a list of them that I love.
Do you read it on your phone?
I read everything on my phone.
Oh, so you're not reading a book, you're just reading content on your phone.
Same thing. I'm reading a book.
I love that.
No, bro, I read an actual book.
You know what I read almost?
What do you mean?
It's not a book. It's not a book. Like, book is a book.
Well, I'm reading a digital book.
You're looking at a digital book, yeah.
Oh, I love. I'm currently reading. I read it almost every night. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Have you read of Pornhub?
Oh yeah. I read Pornhub before.
Yeah,
but just to go through them,
chapters on that. Never stop.
The book I'm reading right now is a good book called The Book of Five Rings. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I've heard about this one.
It's like a samurai, about a guy who was like went and competed. He was a samurai and he went and like around and like competed with everyone and beat everyone. And then he throws it into tying into like life and like, you know, all that stuff. And another great book is
Japanese.
12 Rules for Life, which is Jordan Peterson, the guy I was talking about. Yeah. I really love him. And it's kind of very like, you know, the way he thinks, some people just really don't agree with him, you know, but it's interesting. Another one, what I really like, this is a really good book. It's a cheap book too. It's called 7 Leadership Lessons of the American Revolution. And it talks about like 7